So I just thought today we could talk about some of the ways we can use aloe vera gel in our lives, and one of the biggest ones is when we cut ourselves, and we can take a leaf, any size leaf, but it's best to have a really sharp knife, so I always tend to sharpen mine a little bit before I start. First of all, it's always important to make sure your leaf is clean on the outside so that you're not introducing any diseases or bacteria or anything like that. Just a simple wash off. It just takes the bloom off the outside of the leaf and keeps it clean. Once you've sharpened your knife, you can take the very end off the leaf, just a thin slice like that, to get rid of the protective coating that the leaf has developed over time. It just congeals and stops any entry of bacteria and nasties going back up into the gel. Discard that a little bit. Cut off as much as you need. If you're going to treat a scar or a wound of some kind, you probably only need a very thin slice, maybe 1/4 of an inch, if that. Sorry, I still work in Imperial. Cut off a thin slice, it'll be lovely and juicy. You'll be able to see right through it like that, and that's the gel. Bear in mind that it's already been drained. I leave my leaves stood upright overnight like this after I've cut them to drain all the aloe out, and that's the yellow stuff. So if you put it on a tissue like that overnight, you'll see the yellow stain on the tissue in the morning, and that's gravity pulled all the aloe out of the leaf. Okay, you don't want that part because it can be quite a laxative. If you're constipated, then that's a good thing, but most of the time we don't need it. Have your leaf. You don't have to take the gel out. The gel is coming out of the, and you can squeeze it like this. It's just coming out as like a thick, clear gel, and basically rub it into the rash or the cut or the scar that you're trying to make better or treat. You get quite a lot of gel out of a tiny little slice like this. It'll cover a huge area. Just don't wipe it off, allow it to dry like that. It'll dry really quickly, it will soak into the skin, moisturise the skin, and the healing properties of the gel will work into the skin and start to heal the cut or fade the scar or whatever it is you're trying to do. Very simple. This can go back in the fridge, and it'll keep for several weeks, and all you can do is just take little slices off as and when you need them, like that. Not long ago I had an accident working in the garden, and a knife I was using chopped down. It wasn't a slice, it was a chop, and went through the skin and down to the knuckle here. Didn't really bleed very much. I was more concerned about whether I'd nicked the tendon, which I hadn't done, so I was quite lucky. And in order to get this to heal better, without too much in the way of scarring at the end of it, if there's any scarring, very often when you use aloe vera gel to fix a cut, there is no scarring. It's that good. So what we tend to do with that is, I usually use one of these latex gloves that you can buy in builders merchants or DIY shops and things like that. They're really good. And basically cut one of the fingers off like that, and open up the finger. Now I need to get some gel in there, so take a slice off the leaf and scoop the gel out. Like that. Pop it into the finger. leaf onto the damaged finger, like that. You can see the gel inside there, floating around. Take a bit of tape and just seat it on so it doesn't come flying off every time you touch anything. Perhaps it'd be better if you get somebody else to help you with this. But there we are. Now, I can work. I'm not going to hurt anybody or interfere with anybody. It's incredibly flexible. I can push the gel right into the cut, right over the cut, and just keep it there for a couple of hours while the gel has, influences the cut with its own healing properties. Perfect. Of course, taking off gel a quarter of an inch at a time or a few millimeters at a time is time consuming, and you might actually want to take all of the gel out all at the same time. That's quite easy to do, and you'll need a jar or a container of some kind to keep it in. So the simple way of doing that is to have a really sharp knife. Again, start somewhere at the top of the leaf and just cut all the little spines off the side. You'll soon get the knack of doing this without too much wastage. So a nice little slice like that, take the side off, and again on the other side. Just angle the blade up if you cut too deep. I'll show you, I used to be quite good at this. Right, there we are. Now once the edges are gone, you'll have a round surface on this side and a flat surface on this side. So just pop the knife underneath on the flat side, hold it down and just run the knife down the inside of the leaf, and that will just lift off. There's hardly any gel at all on that leaf. There's certainly no yellow, so that all the aloe is drained out. And there you have a leaf full of gel. Beautiful, very clear. What you need then is a fork, or I tend to use a spoon, and start up where the cut was and just use the spoon and pull out all of the gel all the way down. It usually comes out in one piece, and there you are. One piece of aloe vera gel, beautifully clean. Now you can mash this up with a fork. And then spoon it into your jar. This is the tricky bit. Once you've got it in your jar, if you have, I mean obviously if you're doing one of these big leaves, you'll fill this jar up. So the quantity here is just because I've chosen a smaller leaf. There's your gel. It'll last in the fridge like that for quite a long time. You just take out what you want, spoonful at a time, put it on your skin, rub it in like that, and it's a really good way to use it and to do this messy extraction job all in one go. One of the ways in which aloe vera is useful is in burns and scalds. Obviously, if it's bad enough and you need hospital treatment, make sure you get that first. But following that, if you've burned your hand, for example, on a hot saucepan or a hot stove or something like that, you're going to get blisters or cracking of the skin, or it's certainly going to be red, it's going to be sore, fiery. And aloe vera is really, really good at helping in those instances. leaving it on the skin can be quite difficult. The easiest way to do that is to cover it with a sock, a sterile sock obviously, but I'm willing to bet that there's every sock drawer in the country's got an odd one. So use that one. Use some of the gel that you've had previously, a good dollop. Rub it into the hand and to the burn, and get it all over, right in the joints and everywhere where you feel the skin is burned. And again, I should probably not be doing this on my own, but if you can get help, if you can get somebody to help you, slip the sock over your hand. This is really good at bedtime because this works really good overnight. The aloe will work its way into the skin and start to heal it. You're protecting it with the sock. You can sleep all night without getting aloe all over everywhere. And in the morning, just take it off, wash the sock, do it again the following evening. The longer you leave the aloe on there, the better it's going to be, the more beneficial it will be. If you plan on extracting all of your aloe vera gel in one go and to leave it in a jar, sometimes it's best to spin it so that it doesn't stay lumpy. And the best way I find to do that is to put the whole thing in a NutriBullet and spin it for a few seconds to break it down. So take the whole piece of leaf, like that. And I use the one with the multi-blades because I find it chops it up a lot finer. That's probably quite enough. So when you want to take it out, all those lumps are gone, and you can actually use it as a liquid. Okay. It'll stay liquid like that, and you can use as much or as little as you want, and rub it in. And it's a really nice way to use it because it actually liquefies the product there. Get some more into my cut. It dries within a few seconds, it's gone again and you can't feel it anymore, but it's still carrying on and doing its job, doing its work. Excellent, right. So this is really good if you want to treat scars after surgery or after a cut or some other accident. Really good way just to rub it in. It's virtually dry now. That's virtually dry already. Although we've spoken in this video about several different ways that you can use your own aloe vera gel to help you with certain conditions, there are lots of other conditions on the website for which it is useful, and you might like to go and have a look at those. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you continue to enjoy the benefits of your aloe vera gel.